Do you believe miracles can be born from pure determination? Today we meet remarkable people who don't just survive challenges, they rise above them, shining despite losing parts once thought essential. They prove that the human spirit is stronger than any limitation. If their strength inspires you, comment 1. If you see it differently, comment 0. Like and subscribe to join us as we explore their incredible journey. Born in 2008 without sight or a sense of smell, Cassidy Hooper never let her limitations define her. By age 11, she was already competing in track and field and serving her community, inspiring those around her. Recently earning a Bachelor of Arts degree, Cassidy proves that resilience can overcome any barrier, living by her belief she doesn't need life to be easy, only possible. The story began with signs that seemed harmless, a small wound, a faint tingling sensation. But behind them lurked an invisible enemy silently growing. In 2014, Tina Earles received the devastating news no one ever wants to hear. A malignant tumor was hiding deep within her body. The battle began. From basic treatments to invasive interventions, the enemy stubbornly held on, more aggressive than expected. Doctors proposed harsh treatment plans. Yet Tina, with the heart of a mother, made a choice that left everyone speechless. Rather than enduring endless treatments that would drain her strength, she made a radical choice, sacrificing a vital part of her face for more time. Giving up her nose meant choosing life over appearance, so she could watch her children grow and remain the mother they needed. For Tina, true beauty is not found in a mirror, but in the health that allows her to protect and be present for her family. Tiffany was born with Charcot-Levin syndrome, a rare condition that defies medical norms and reshapes her body. But her greatest struggle was not her curved spine, it was prejudice. Though her first teacher praised her exceptional skill, she still denied Tiffany the chance to perform on stage, creating a cruel divide between a limited body and an artistic soul desperate for freedom. Rather than retreating under judgment and barriers, Tiffany drew strength from her mother's love and rewrote her fate. Everything changed when she met visionary choreographer Heidi Latsky, who rejects manufactured perfection. Heidi saw not a flawed body, but a unique living sculpture, turning Tiffany's perceived limitations into her greatest artistic power. In 2014, Tiffany was reborn as she entered the world of professional art. Her defining moment came when her powerful image towered over Times Square, demanding the world see her differently. Street whispers faded into silence before the presence of a true artist, proving that the brightest light often rises from creation's deepest cracks. Oscar Pistorius was once a symbol of the extraordinary. Born without fibula bones and losing both legs before his first birthday, he seemed to defy nature itself. With blade-like prosthetics, he didn't just run, he soared, breaking barriers between disabled and able-bodied athletes as the first double amputee to compete in the Olympic Games. The world watched in awe until a tragedy beyond redemption ended that brilliance. On February 14, 2013, a day meant for love became a tragic turning point when Oscar Pistorius' girlfriend, Riva Steenkamp, was killed in his Pretoria home. Oscar claimed it was a fatal mistake, believing he faced an intruder, but the courts and public judged the event far differently. Once celebrated as a global sports icon, he was drawn into years of legal turmoil that ended with a prison sentence, reminding the world how quickly a hero can fall in a single irreversible moment. Jackson Buell was born with microhydranencephaly, a rare condition in which only part of the brain develops, and doctors believed he would survive only days. Yet he defied those predictions, becoming living proof that the will to survive can challenge even medicine's harshest limits. Rather than yielding to fate, Jackson's fragile body revealed a powerful life force that continues to puzzle science itself. In a world obsessed with perfection, Jackson's parents, Brandon and Brittany, chose pride over fear and openly embraced their different child. They shared his life with the world not as a spectacle, but as a message of love. Millions followed the tiny warrior because he redefined human beauty, proving that true worth lies not in physical completeness, but in the power to connect and awaken compassion. In April 2020, Jackson passed away at just 5 years old, but his life was never defined by tragedy. Like a shooting star, his brief existence left a lasting glow far stronger than many longer lives. Jackson Buell's legacy reminds us that life is not measured by time, but by the love we give and the strength of spirit we leave behind, qualities that make a soul truly unforgettable. At just 18, Terry Fox's life changed when he was diagnosed with bone cancer and lost his right leg, but he refused to surrender to despair. Determined to support cancer research, he began the Marathon of Hope, running 42 kilometers a day across Canada on a prosthetic leg despite pain and brutal conditions. Even when the cancer spread to his lungs, Terry pressed on, raising $24 million before his death at 22, and becoming an enduring symbol of hope and human courage. Bethany Hamilton is a living symbol of rebirth after unimaginable loss. At just 13, when her future seemed limitless, the ocean she loved turned cruel, and in a single moment a dark force took part of her body. What remained was not only a permanent physical absence, but an open space where extraordinary strength and unbreakable will began to rise. For most, such a tragedy would end every dream, but for Bethany, it marked the beginning of something greater. Rather than surrender to fear, she returned to the ocean that had taken part of her, climbing back on a surfboard just 1 month later, with a heart that refused to break. 2 years after the attack, she won a national championship through pure skill, proving that the only real limits are the ones the mind accepts. Today, Bethany's legacy reaches far beyond the waves, rising above society's hidden prejudices. As a mother, author, and source of inspiration, she has turned loss into a symbol of courage. Through the Ohana experience, she spreads hope to millions of young women, reminding the world that true strength is not found in physical wholeness, but in the resilience to rise after every wave life sends. In a world obsessed with perfect proportions, Victoria Marchioli stands as nature's challenge to narrow beauty standards. Born with Treacher-Collins syndrome, her appearance defies convention not as a flaw, but as a test of society's prejudices, urging us to look beyond the surface and redefine what beauty truly means. Instead of letting discrimination define her life, Victoria's family turned it into a foundation of unconditional love, celebrating her differences as a symbol of strength. Her story reminds us that human dignity is not found in perfect features, but in the power to awaken compassion and tolerance in others. What do you think about Victoria's strength? Comment 2 if her story touched you, or 5 if you see it differently, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more inspiring stories. As her friends entered puberty, Kaylee Moats discovered her body was different, a silence that led to a diagnosis of MRKH syndrome. Missing key parts of her reproductive system, she faced the realization that traditional motherhood might not be possible. More than a medical condition, it was a deeply emotional awakening that reshaped her understanding of herself. Refusing to let fate define her joy, Kaylee underwent a difficult reconstructive surgery, rebuilding her body with her own tissue. Today, she speaks openly to support other women with the same condition, proving that femininity is not defined by biology, but by the courage to face and embrace one's imperfections. Paul Alexander did not live in an ordinary home, but inside an iron lung, a massive metal machine that kept him breathing after polio struck in 1952. While the world raced into the modern age, Paul remained within that steel shell for more than 7 decades, living in a space that was both a prison and the device that sustained his life. Though the steel cylinder confined his body, it could not restrain Paul's mind. By guiding a pen with his mouth, he earned a law degree and wrote a lasting memoir, proving that even when the body is trapped in stillness, the human will can rise, turning hardship into the foundation of greatness. Even before birth, Lexi Melton challenged modern medicine when scans revealed an incomplete facial structure. Born 6 weeks early and barely 4 pounds, she struggled to breathe due to an underdeveloped jaw, forcing doctors in Seattle to fight for her life. After countless surgeries, Lexi stands today as a living miracle, each breath a triumph shaped by medical dedication and her family's unwavering love. Kyle Maynard was born without fully formed limbs, defying conventional ideas of wholeness. But his strength was shaped less by his body than by his father's insistence on independence, refusing to let him rely on help. That tough guidance forged Kyle into a person of relentless will, someone who rejected pity and chose to define his life on his own terms. Kyle's defining triumph came when he crawled to the summit of Mount Kilimanjaro without any assistive devices. Guided by his no-excuses mindset, he proved that the greatest obstacles we face are not mountains of stone, but the invisible limits we place within our own minds. Archie Innis came into the world shrouded in a kind of endless night after losing his sight at birth. Rather than surrendering to a life confined by darkness, the young Scot discovered an extraordinary ability that sounds straight out of science fiction: echolocation. By transforming his body into both a sender and interpreter of sound, Archie relies on hearing as a sophisticated biological radar, using returning echoes to perceive his surroundings and move through space without relying on light. In Archie's perception, the world is far from an empty darkness. It is a rich three-dimensional terrain shaped by sound. This extraordinary sense of spatial awareness enables him to cycle-scale mountains and play the drums with striking accuracy. His journey powerfully illustrates nature's principle of compensation. When one sensory gateway shuts, the human mind can unlock new and even brighter realms of perception, provided belief is strong enough to guide the path forward. Tio Satrio, a respected figure in Indonesia's gaming community, proves the power of passion and determination. Born without arms or legs, he learned to control games using his chin and shoulders, earning widespread admiration. After leaving school due to insecurity, Tio found a new path through gaming and creativity, now writing with his mouth and connecting with others through his talent, showing that joy and passion can transform adversity into strength. In 2008, Dallas Wiens lost his face in a severe electrical accident, enduring years of pain and loss. In 2011, a groundbreaking surgery in Boston restored his sense of touch, allowing him to feel his daughter's kiss for the first time. With renewed hope, Dallas rebuilt his life, remarried, and proved that perseverance can turn even the most devastating challenges into new beginnings. If you have ever seen the movie Unbreakable, You might recall the character whose bones were as delicate as glass. Janelli Martinez is that story brought into real life only with even greater courage. Born with brittle bone disease, osteogenesis imperfecta, her body is so fragile that something as small as a sneeze can be dangerous. She has suffered more than 100 fractures, enough to crush anyone's spirit, yet for Janelli, each break became a point where resilience broke through. She refused to let fragility define her. Instead, she transformed it into her personal mark, appearing in music videos and emerging as a symbol of strength. Janelli reminds us of a profound truth: the body can break, but the will never does. Nathaniel Newman is far more than a boy affected by Treacher-Collins syndrome. He is the real-life living model behind the acclaimed film Wonder. With facial features shaped like an intricate topographical landscape, features that seriously complicate essential functions such as hearing and breathing, Nathaniel appeared destined to challenge every medical expectation. Yet this very difference proved not to be a misfortune, but the birth of a cultural icon, one in which biological diversity is embraced rather than pushed into the shadows. Behind his distinctive appearance rises an unbreakable stronghold of family love, turning Nathaniel's life into a living testament to compassion. Instead of urging their child to blend in for protection, his parents shared a bold message with the world. Don't try to fit in when you were born to stand out. Nathaniel's confident presence powerfully reminds us that humanity's true beauty is found in diversity and in the enduring power of empathy. Andrew Wardle spent much of his life in secrecy due to a rare congenital condition that caused deep physical and emotional pain. In 2018, advanced medical surgery gave him the chance to reclaim what he had been missing, restoring both function and self-confidence. His story proves that with time, courage, and science, it is never too late to feel whole again. Eric Ramirez, a young man from Colombia, transformed his appearance after losing a loved one using extreme body modification as a way to process grief and redefine himself. Though often criticized for his dark, unconventional look, Eric believes these changes help him feel closer to what he lost. His story opens a conversation about the many ways people cope with emotional pain, while also reminding us that mental health struggles are best faced with professional support. From those born without parts of their bodies to those who chose to transform themselves, each story is a vital piece of humanity's vast mosaic. Some were born different, others chose difference, but all live without regret, proving that human beauty is shaped by what society once called non-conforming. Whose strength moved you the most? Share your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to like and subscribe as we continue exploring the extraordinary depths of the human spirit. Thank you for listening, and see you in the next story.